I'm Ewan Kirk. I'm the new entrepreneur in residence at the CMS. Prior to doing this, I ran an exceptionally geeky hedge fund called Cantab Capital Partners, which you may know from the Cantab Capital Institute for the Mathematics of Information. Prior to that, I was a partner at Goldman Sachs, and then before that, I did a PhD in general relativity. So my journey has been from mathematics through commerce and finance. I'm now the chairman of the Isaac Newton Institute. I also invest in companies. I've started some companies. So I'm a kind of entrepreneur finance person. And I also do quite a lot of philanthropy as well.
So what is entrepreneurialism? How would you define it?
I know how people think that they're defining it, because they think that they're defining it as the thing that takes an idea from an idea to Google, right? It's all about high-tech entrepreneurialism. It's all about inventing a new drug, coming up with a new social media site, inventing AI systems, all of these high-tech things, because that, of course, has been the story of the last 20 or 30 years, has been two people having an idea and turning it into billion-dollar companies, which it skews people's views. The person who runs the corner shop selling milk and bread in the morning, they're an entrepreneur too, right? They're somebody who's had an idea. I think I can open a corner shop here. They've thought about all of the pros and cons of doing that, how much bread they can sell, how much milk they can sell, how many magazines they can sell, how much it's going to cost for the building, people. That's part of it as well, and it's very important not to focus too much on being entrepreneurs about programming computers. It was for me, but it doesn't have to be for everybody. So I don't think it's an easy thing to define. You know, what's that famous phrase about, you know, pornography? It's hard to define, but I know it when I see it. Well, in that sense, entrepreneurship is a little bit like that. I know it when I see it. So I think some of it is about focusing on being able to have, I like to describe it as a kind of fractal approach to things that are important. Like, you've got to have your big vision. This is where I think we want to go. You know, I think we can do this. But it's got to break apart into lots of different bits that you've got to be quite good at working at different levels. You know, whether or not that's what's the big mission, what's the big, you know, what's the thing that we're going for, to do we really want to spend £50 a month on a coffee machine, or should we just all go to Costa's? Right? Those are entrepreneurial style decisions. Entrepreneurs tend to be quite good at, they have a sense of going towards a big goal, but their good ones are also very good at saying, this isn't working, let's do something else. Right? The hedgehog and fox thing. They need to be able to do lots of things. And the phrase that's used in the community, of course, is pivot, but I'm not really sure what that means. But it is a little bit about being, I suppose at a deeper level, it's about being a little bit self-critical. It's about being able to understand your own weaknesses. And that brings me on to being able to hire good people or work with good people. Working in an entrepreneurial environment is incredibly stressful because everything's changing and you could go bust next Tuesday. Right? And you're doing all of this stuff, and some of these things you might not even be able to do. And your entire company revolves around you getting a deal with a customer tomorrow or next week. Otherwise, everyone's going to be on the dole, and that's hard. So you've got to be able to work with people in quite a small pressured environment and not piss everyone off. That's a real skill. right? It's something you have to learn. There's various things that contribute as well. Being able to roughly do finance in your head. Like, you know, I always think about it as most businesses are, we make a thing and it costs us this much to make it. How much can we sell it for? Hopefully that number is bigger than this number. Okay, that's a good start. So how many of these can we sell? How many of them can we make? What's the market for these things? And, you know, if you can make 1 million things a week that cost you $1 to make and you can sell them for $2, then, and there's a market for 1 million of these things a week, you've got a company that can make $1 million of, not profits, but at least, you know, gross profit every single week. That's a great thing. Okay, just do that, right? So it's a little bit about understanding the big picture, not worrying too much about how much it costs for the coffee machine, although you do have to worry about that a little bit.